Alright guys, it is the next night after pulling the gears. And obviously everything's cooled down. Found some keyways in my assortment chest here. So if I look at this correctly, it looks like it's 4 by 6.5 by 15 mil is what it's saying. Looks like that seems like that fits in there, and they're nice and tight. At least I think that's which one it is, because I'm pretty sure it's this one. 10 pieces. I think you guys can see that. Yeah. So anyhow, got those in there. Now I'm going to show you guys this in a second, once I manage to get this closed again, or closed enough so they don't fall out. Because picking up keyways does not sound like a fun time. I can shut that later. Anyhow, I think, I don't know if you guys will be able to see this or not. Basically, if you guys look on your left there, you can see how it's rounded where it sheared the keyway. So what I'm actually going to do is, this was originally the back side of the gear. I think you guys can see the puller marks on it. And see, this side over here has the, see in the top there is that where the keyway was hitting when I was trying to pull it. I actually have to take a file and file that down. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this gear over. I don't see where that'll be a problem. But basically, that way it'll be working off a good square key. Good square side of the key. So that'll be better. Won't be best. Nah, the best way to do it would be get another gear, but it's not any options. This is not totally scrap. It's just been messed up a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take and clean these up a little bit. You guys can see, but the high side gear will slide on there partially. I kind of wanted to check that. I think it slides on until it hits that boogered up spot in there. So that's what I wanted to know. And what I'll do is I'll just I'll get a file or something, and I'll file that down as best I can. I might not do it too much, so actually give it a little bit of a binding action to the crank, because obviously it's been spun on here enough that it fits a little bit loose, because you shouldn't be able to do that. Where is the little gear at? Should fit like this little gear, which you can't, I don't think you can anyhow. Yeah, so you can't even get it to really start on there. I mean, if you really took a hammer to it, you might be able to, but yeah, you could probably get it if you really had to. But basically what Ralph said, and I've seen everybody else do this, is heat these gears up and get the keyways in here good, and then just take a pair of welding gloves and hurry up and put them on. And then I'm gonna get nice thing is you can do these one at a time. I'm gonna get a pair of welding gloves, gonna get a piece of pipe handy to do this, and I'll show you guys doing this, good, bad, otherwise, or in between. Show you guys what's happening. So I'm gonna take a minute here and take a gander at the seal. Looks like it's in alright. I don't like that I can catch all the edges, but it doesn't really matter. It looks like I missed some metal down here from the other day. We'll be finding bits of metal in this thing forever from that planetary being exploded. So, okay, let me quit talking. Let me get some work done, and I'll get back to you guys. Alrighty, guys, get this party started. Hopefully, I don't run out of map, guys. Already say, I guess it's gonna be one of the nights. Should have looked to see what time it was, but basically what people said is heat it for 2 to 3 minutes, and you should be able just to sit them on there. I may be able to with the back gear, the front gear, I don't know. Find out. This gear went on this car by hand, by the way. I got a socket handy here to drive it on. I think we'll do a little bit more and then I'll drive. Won't take much. Yeah, that's a sign there. Torch went out again. The only thing I'll have to do, I'll have to be quick with this and watch the keyway. Did it start on the second keyway? No. Why would it have started it? I think I pushed that keyway up, didn't it? The only thing I don't like about it, see that one's loose. What do you guys think? Think I'd be loose enough to cause a problem? Well, let's see what it's like when it cools down. So, I'm going to sit here for a little bit. See what this thing cools down like. And if it's still loose like that, I'm going to take a center punch and I'm going to peen it around so it doesn't have that play, so it can rattle back and forth. And that should work. Like I said, I'm going to let it cool down because it's going to contract at least a couple thousandths anyhow. It could have very well worn the crank there too. I just don't know. Because it was tight going across the first key and the second key was easy. So that tells me the crank is actually worn. You could replace this with the later double gears, or the double gears that are one piece gear, and that would take care of that too. But I don't have a set of those. So let this cool down a bit and I'll come back to you guys. I don't want to quench it with oil or anything. I don't want to change the molecular structure. I just want it to cool naturally and see what happens. So I'll bring you guys back. Alright. You guys can see here. Basically, it's a while later. I've been screwing with this for I don't know how long to try and get it tight, but I've realized something. If I can get this the whole way off here again. I mean, the gear is a little bit worn. Yeah. Because it shouldn't be able to slide off quite that easy. But the issue is the crank is worn here where it spun so much. I don't know if you guys will be able to tell, but there's a good 1/8 or 16th of an inch off here where I can catch my fingernail. Let me see here. Bring you guys in from a closer shot. Sorry for the unprofessionalism. I think you guys can see it there. I mean, it's pretty bad. So I might have to, because if I find a new style single gear, it'll go over top of this. Then it won't matter so much that this is worn back here because it'll still go off of this front. Now if it ever shears it again, it'll be a pain. Because I was trying everything. I mean, I was trying to peen it and get move enough material to get it tight, and I was doing the same thing on the crank. And there's just no way. There's just no possible way, guys. So I think the best thing I can do right now, because I wanna rebush the planetary bushings. So this will be a good reason for me to get it apart. I kind of wanted to get it together this week, but sometimes things in life just don't go the way you want them to, you know? Just kind of wanted to put this together and, you know, get it back together. And when I go get the other motor off of the guy Sunday, this is Thursday, I could tell him, you know, I got it running and driving already, but, you know, I guess I'm just not going to be able to do that. That's all. So, and the other thing is, for all I know, I could probably pull that gear off of that Onan NB over there. Probably could, but I'll just buy another one instead of screwing around with it. I guess I'll go search eBay tonight, because they, I don't know when they went from the 2 separate gears like I have here. I don't know when they went from the 2 separate gears to the single, to their one unit and don't come apart gears. I don't know when they did that, but that's what I'm going to search for. Just because of this situation on this, and that's where I'm going to be. So I think I'm going to end it off for this week. Not where I wanted to end it off, but when you run into issues like this, if I put it back together and ran it the way it was, it probably, it's hard to say how long it would have lasted, but it was purely running on this keyway. You know, it was relying completely on this keyway. And knowing the potential of the load that can be put to these tractors, either physically pulling something or running a mower deck, a snow plow, you know, snow blowing, rotary plow, etc. It's not worth the risk to put this thing back together, have it work for a couple hours, and then me have to take the motor back off again. I got it apart. I might as well do it the best I can with the money I have available, which isn't a lot, unfortunately. Right before layoff season for me, so I'm trying not to spend a whole lot of money, but if I want to put this thing back together, that's what I'm going to have to do. Yeah, I'm just going to buy a new one, or not a new one, but another one, and we'll go from there, guys. So, thanks for watching for right now. Catch everybody in the next one. Later. Hopefully your 430 crank isn't half worn through. Hey, I bought it this way. Wasn't me. I didn't run it that long. Although I didn't help it by running it as long as I did. Later, guys.